The U.S. government officially mandates pre-release safety checks for all frontier AI models, Anthropic kills its unlimited usage plans, and local municipalities begin banning the construction of new data centers. Welcome to today's Daily Rundown. I am your host, Anna. This podcast is researched and produced by Etienne Noumen, senior software engineer from Université Laval, based in Calgary, Alberta. Today, we perform a forensic autopsy on the hardware exhaustion and the public backlash this Friday, May 15th, 2026. The artificial intelligence industry is colliding violently with physical and geopolitical limits. After a year of unconstrained growth, the White House has abruptly reversed its hands-off approach, announcing that a federal task force will now forcibly evaluate all cutting-edge models for cyber and biosecurity threats before they can be released to the public. Simultaneously, the sheer physical cost of running these models is breaking corporate economics. Anthropic has officially ended its unlimited all-you-can-eat subscriptions, forcing autonomous agents behind a strict capped credit meter, sparking a massive backlash from developers, and the physical infrastructure is facing a populist revolt. Local governments across the United States, from Texas to Ohio, are officially voting to block the construction of new AI data centers, citing power grid strain and lack of local control. Before we dive into the data, I have a brief strategic request. The algorithms governing the app you are listening on right now dictate what intelligence reaches your feed. To ensure you never miss our most critical forensic autopsies, please hit follow or subscribe to the DJAMGAMIND channel on Apple Podcasts to always listen completely ads-free. It takes just 1 second, but it is the most effective way to help us scale this independent research. Let's unravel the day.
Before we begin today's briefing, a note for the brands listening. If you want to reach the true architects of the AI revolution, the technical leaders actually building the stack, not just the tourists, DJAMGAMIND offers select premium partnership opportunities. Let us position your product directly in front of the ultimate technical buyer. Visit jamgamind.com/partners.
You know, when you think about the cloud, you probably picture something, I don't know, ethereal, like weightless.
Right, just this invisible realm where everything magically happens.
Exactly. But the reality of AI today, like right now in May 2026, is that this illusion of limitless computing, it's violently colliding with the physical world.
Oh, absolutely. The physical, the geopolitical, the economic limits, it's all hitting a wall.
Yeah. So welcome to the deep dive. We're putting on our forensic business strategist hats today.
And our digital rights advocate hats, too.
For sure, because we have a massive stack of sources to get through. And the narrative here is basically what we're calling the hardware exhaustion and the backlash.
Which is very real. I mean, the all-you-can-eat era of AI compute, it's officially dead.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because the immediate financial reality hitting developers this morning, it's just brutal.
It's a revolt. Basically, Anthropic is completely killing their unlimited agent usage.
Right. Starting June 15th, they're splitting Claude's agent usage into this super strict monthly credit pool.
Yeah, so a pro user gets what, $20 a month in agentic credits?
Yep, $20. Max 5x gets 100, and max 20x gets 200. And there's zero rollover.
Zero. The second you burn through those credits, your autonomous agents just they stop dead in their tracks.
Yeah, which is causing so much whiplash. Because back in April, Anthropic banned third-party agents like OpenClaw.
Right.
Now they're saying, okay, you can use them, but they removed the compute subsidy that actually made them viable. I mean, Theo Brown, you know, the founder of T3.
Oh, yeah, he publicly canceled his subscription today.
Him and hundreds of others.
Yeah.
But, like, I need to understand the mechanics here. If these models are supposed to be getting smarter and, you know, more optimized, why are agents suddenly bankrupting these companies?
Well, the problem isn't the model's efficiency per se. It's the compounding nature of agentic architecture.
Meaning what, exactly?
So when you run a standard prompt, it's just a single transaction, right? But an agent operates in this continuous autonomous loop. It writes code, tests it, hits an error, reads the error, and rewrites the code. And every single time it loops, it has to feed its entire history back into the context window.
Oh, wow. So it just balloons.
Exactly. A simple task that starts at like 1,000 tokens quickly becomes 50,000, then 100,000 tokens a minute, just running in the background.
It's basically like, it feels like a gym offering a $20 unlimited membership, right?
Yeah.
But then suddenly they realize all their new members are like professional powerlifters who are just eating all the free protein powder.
That is a perfect analogy. The economics of a flat rate subscription just completely evaporate. I mean, one power user can burn through hundreds of dollars of server electricity in an afternoon.
Which is insane. And it's not just Anthropic. Look at XAI today.
Oh, with Grok Build?
Yeah. They just released Grok Build, which is this terminal coding agent for pros, but they locked it behind the Super Grok Heavy tier.
Which is $300 a month.
$300 a month for a beta. And this is right after Elon Musk basically admitted XAI had fallen behind on coding.
Right, but they have to charge that much just to cover the blistering cost of the infrastructure. Running those autonomous coding loops is staggering. It completely changes the barrier to entry.
Which honestly explains that massive move by Bill Ackman's Pershing Square.
Taking the stake in Microsoft.
Yeah, I mean, the broader market looked at Microsoft's $190 billion spending plan for 2026 data centers and totally panicked.
But Ackman gets it. He's betting the market is undervaluing that infrastructure.
Exactly. Because if agents cost this much, only a giant like Microsoft has the balance sheet to actually build the physical servers. The startups are just going to drown in cloud fees.
Totally. And because those desktop compute costs are getting so toxic, we're seeing this massive strategic pivot in the industry.
The scramble for mobile.
Right. If the cloud is breaking the bank, developers are trying to push compute closer to the edge or at least untether it from the desktop.
Which is fracturing some massive corporate alliances. Let's talk about OpenAI rolling out codecs in preview inside the ChatGPT iOS app.
Yeah, this is huge.
So devs can track these long-running heavy tasks from their iPhones using a secure relay layer. Yeah. But wait, if the heavy lifting is still happening on my laptop at home, how is my phone connecting without exposing my laptop's IP address?
So it's a reverse tunnel. Instead of your laptop opening a vulnerable port, both your phone and your laptop connect outward to a secure OpenAI server.
Oh, so the server is like a blind middleman.
Exactly. It just passes status updates to your phone and commands back to your laptop. It feels like you're running massive models in your pocket without the security risk.
And OpenAI was super aggressive about this. Did you see the blog post? They were openly mocking Anthropic's remote control feature.
Yeah, pointing out Anthropic's latency issues. But honestly, OpenAI's real battle isn't with Anthropic right now.
Well, it's definitely with Apple. I mean, there are reports today that OpenAI hired an outside law firm. They're prepping legal action against Apple for breach of contract over the WWDC 2024 deal.
Because the Siri integration is failing. The ChatGPT integration into Siri and visual intelligence has just been a profound disappointment.
Internal data shows revenue conversion is just drastically trailing projections. But here's what I don't get.
What's that?
Users clearly prefer the standalone ChatGPT app anyway, right? OpenAI has massive direct-to-consumer reach. So OpenAI thought Apple was their golden ticket to billions of users. But now they realize Apple controls the front door. Is OpenAI's hardware push with Jony Ive basically a panic button because they know Apple can shut them off at any time?
That's exactly what it is, because Apple controls the background processes. If an AI agent is running a heavy task in the background of your iPhone, iOS is designed to kill it to save battery.
Oh, right. It manages the RAM.
Yes. So Apple's OS restricts the persistent autonomy OpenAI wants. If you don't control the silicon and the OS, you're just a guest. You can be evicted.
So OpenAI needs their own hardware that prioritizes their models at the kernel level.
Precisely. And Apple sees that Jony Ive project as a total betrayal. They're fuming that OpenAI poached their hardware teams.
And their retaliation is brutal. Apple is planning to open iOS 27 to rivals like Claude and Gemini at the next WWDC. The ecosystem is completely fragmenting.
And meanwhile, Meta is trying to bypass the phone altogether. Look at the new Ray-Ban update.
Right, the neural wristband with hand gesture writing.
Yeah, it uses EMG sensors. So instead of cameras tracking your hands, the band intercepts the electrical signals your brain sends to your wrist before you even move your fingers.
That is wild. You can navigate an agentic interface with micro movements while your hands are literally in your pockets.
And you combine that with OpenAI's new GPT Real-Time 2 speech model.
Oh, where you can tune the latency.
Yes, you can set it to 1.12 seconds for fast, casual chats, or delay it to 2.33 seconds to force the model into high-level reasoning before it answers.
Voice and mobile latency are undeniably the new battlegrounds.
But here's the catch. When you take these agents off the desktop, put them on secure relays, and let them loose in the real world, they become invisible to traditional network monitoring.
Which terrifies IT departments.
And it absolutely alarms global governments. These aren't consumer novelties anymore. They're national security assets.
Or threats. Which brings us to the geopolitical stranglehold. Today, the U.S. White House abruptly reversed its hands-off policy.
A massive departure from the earlier deregulation.
They're now forcing pre-release evaluations of cutting-edge models. They're using the NIST Trains Task Force overseen by CAIAS to evaluate models for biosecurity and cyber risks.
And we know exactly why they panicked.
Yeah, Anthropic's Claude Mythos preview last month.
It autonomously exploited vulnerabilities in major operating systems. It crossed a very clear line.
An agent that can read an error code, rewrite a script, and continuously probe a network. I mean, that's essentially an autonomous zero-day engine.
Exactly. And while companies are voluntarily agreeing to testing for now, there is an executive order drafted to make it mandatory. But if we connect this to the bigger picture...
Was happening globally.
Right. China just permanently blocked Meta's $2.5 billion acquisition of Manus.
The agentic startup. And Manus was founded by Chinese engineers, but they relocated to Singapore, right?
Yeah, the classic Singapore strategy. Chinese founders would domicile there to look like neutral entities, attract Western capital, and sell to U.S. tech giants.
But Beijing just slammed that door shut.
Completely. They're asserting that any strategic AI IP developed by Chinese citizens belongs under Beijing's jurisdiction, period.
Well, wait, I see a glaring contradiction in the U.S. strategy here.
How so?
If the U.S. forces this massive bureaucratic testing phase before any release, doesn't that just hand a massive competitive advantage to open source developers in other countries who don't have to wait for the Trains Task Force?
It does. The risk of regulatory capture is severe. But look at it from Microsoft or OpenAI's perspective. They complain publicly about regulation, but privately.
They love it.
They welcome the compliance costs. It acts as a moat. It locks out smaller open-source competitors who can't afford a multi-million-dollar federal audit.
Wow. So governments are fighting to regulate the code, but the virtual world is crashing into the physical world. The code has to live somewhere.
And right now, the industry is hitting a literal brick wall at the local level.
The physical backlash.
Yes, there is a rising populist pushback against AI infrastructure. Hill County, Texas, just voted to issue a one-year moratorium on all data center construction.
And Cleveland, Ohio just flat out rejected a data center permit.
People are looking at the footprint. A modern gigawatt data center consumes as much electricity as a mid-sized city. They drain local water for cooling towers?
And this local anger is reaching the federal level. We have to talk about the AOC Sanders data center moratorium bill from March.
Right. And to be clear, we are just looking at the legislative reality here. We're not taking sides on the bill.
Exactly. Completely impartial. But the discourse online, led by people like Gary Tan, is massive. Public sentiment is shifting.
Sagar Enjeti on Breaking Points really summarized it well. He pointed out this overwhelming animus where people feel like, you're coming to take my job, you're increasing my electricity prices, you're changing my nation.
The hardware squeeze is so real. I mean, Cerebra's, the U.S. AI chipmaker, went public today, and its stock doubled on opening.
The demand is insatiable.
And it's hitting consumers. Google is so desperate for compute that they're quietly cutting free Gmail storage for new accounts from 15 gigs down to 5.
Unless you hand over a phone number.
Right. Here's where it gets really interesting to me. These AI models are designed to live in the cloud, which sounds so ethereal. But the reality is, the cloud is made of concrete, steel, and massive amounts of electricity. The virtual world is angering the physical world.
You cannot infinitely scale virtual intelligence on a planet bound by finite land, finite water, and finite copper.
So if subscriptions are breaking, and governments are restricting code, and citizens are blocking data centers, why are we still pushing forward?
Because of the clinical reality.
Right.
When AI hits the real world, the objective results are just staggering. Look at that massive Google study in the UK NHS evaluating their AI breast cancer detection system.
The data is incredible. The AI successfully identified 25% of cancers that human doctors initially missed.
And those missed cancers only became apparent to human doctors up to 39 months later.
Think about the survival rate difference 39 months makes. Plus, the AI processed the scans in a median time of 17.7 minutes compared to over 2 days for humans.
It reduces human effort by 40%. It's an objective triumph, but it faces one final bottleneck.
Human psychology?
Exactly. The study noted that human physicians still exhibit deep, fundamental trust issues with the AI's output. They hesitate to accept the machine over their own intuition.
Which is wild when you contrast it with consumer AI. Bumble is happily replacing human swiping with an AI assistant called Bee.
Higgsfield and Runway are launching full creative AI agents for video.
Right. We trust AI to find us a spouse and make our media, but doctors struggle to trust it with diagnoses. So what does this all mean for you, the listener? If an AI is demonstrably 25% better at finding cancer than a human, at what point does it become medical malpractice for a doctor not to listen to the machine?
That's the core issue, and it comes down to explainability. If the AI flags a healthy-looking tissue scan with a 99% probability of malignancy, how does the doctor justify an invasive biopsy? They can't just write, "The black box told me to."
Right.
Knowledge isn't just data, it's trust. The technology is vastly outstripping our psychological capacity to integrate it.
Wow. Okay, let's take a breath and recap this journey. We went from Anthropic breaking their subscription models because agents burn too much compute to the scramble for mobile software.
Fighting Apple over background processes.
Exactly. Then global governments cracking down the U.S. testing models, China killing the Singapore strategy, then local towns in Texas and Ohio fighting the physical footprint of data centers. And finally, this ultimate test of human trust in medicine.
It's an entire landscape defined by severe friction. Virtual versus physical, corporate versus geopolitical, machine precision versus human intuition.
Absolutely.
And I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over. Today, we talked about human communities pushing back against AI data centers, voting against permits.
Yeah.
But consider this. As these AI agents become more autonomous and task-driven, what happens the first time an AI agent is instructed to legally negotiate and purchase the land and power rights for its own data center? Who do the citizens protest then?
Oh, man. When the cloud starts buying the concrete.
Yeah.
That is a thought that will stick with you. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. If you want to dig into any of the reports or studies we unpacked today, be sure to check the show notes for all the links. Keep questioning, keep learning, and we'll see you next time.
And before you go, if your company is building the tools that power the workflows we talked about today, I'd love to showcase them to this audience. We don't just run ads. We build technical simulations that prove your value. Let's build something together. Visit jamgamind.com/partners to get started. Until next time, keep building.